Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to this session about Amazon Security Lake and its integration with Splunk. So my name is Abdurrahman Mahmoudi. I also go by the name Abdu, and I'm a Senior Partner Solutions Architect at AWS. I'm joined today with Nicholas from Splunk.
And now with sound. Perfect. So my name is Niklas Blomqvist. I'm Strategic Security Advisor, and I work for Splunk.
Thank you, Nicholas. So
Thank you.
today we're going to be discussing, let me first.
Yeah.
So today I'll be starting the session with speaking about Amazon Security Lake. So I'll be providing you a couple of details about what is the service, why I have created it, and how it's solving customer issues. Then Nicholas will close it. Then Nicholas will speak about Splunk, the integration of Splunk with Security Lake, and we'll give us showcase this and through a quick demo. So let's kick it off. Let me start by a number coming from Gartner. So according to Gartner, 75% of organizations are pursuing to go to consolidation, cybersecurity consolidation. And cybersecurity consolidation is a very important aspect now, or concept that is rising now in the cybersecurity landscape, where the goal is to go from a state where you have multiple tools that are not well integrated to a state where you have strategically integrated cybersecurity tools. They will communicate well together, and the impact of that is reducing the costs, reducing management overhead, and have that end-to-end visibility of your security posture. So a cornerstone of this consolidation aspect is integration. So the better the integration that we have, the easiest we can get to consolidation. So this integration effort might face certain challenges, mostly related to data wrangling. Why? Because in order to ensure integration between different security tools, then we need to focus on how you ingest data, how you exchange data between these different tools. And in order to do that, security teams face certain challenges, like the fact that sometimes you need to move huge amounts of data. How are they going to do that? The fact that they have different tools, come from different vendors. So each tool might generate different type of data, different coding, different schema, which means that increased level of consistency, and sometimes even that data can be incomplete. Also, if you have to use or collect data from different resources without any central management, then there will be lack of ownership, which means that a lot of people will be duplicating data for their own use, for all the analytics use, without being sure who's really owning that data. So let's imagine together and see what could be a possible solution to solve such an issue. So in order to do that, some customers would be looking, for example, to a way to centralize all security data in one place. Whether this data is coming from AWS cloud, whether it's coming from other multi-clouds, other clouds like Azure and Google, or whether it's coming from on-prem. Another thing that customers will be looking at is, for example, a way to change the format of different logs that is getting from their different cybersecurity tools and put it in one single format that everyone can share. So we're talking here about templatizing and standardization. Another thing that customers will be interested also in, because security teams do not want to focus on all the ingestion of data, they want to focus on the analytics and getting insights out of the data. So it's about providing a solution that provides different manners to manage long-term retention, and how to manage access to that data, and how to manage costs also of storing that data. And also, customers can have, for example, have already signed licensing or engagements with certain technologies, so they might be a bit difficult to move to new ones. So the idea is not to push them to use any certain solutions, but the idea for them is to keep them using their own solutions, but allow them to use new normalized data and share it with other tools. So one of the things that AWS has started to do in 2022, along with Splunk and 60 other partners, is to create what we call the open cybersecurity schema framework. So this project, this open source community-based project, has as objective is to create a vendor-agnostic security schema. And the goal here is to have all the data coming from different resources in the same format, standardize the data, and templatize the data according to the OCSF framework. So this solution or this project has started in 2022 and has faced a lot of success. So now I think what started with only 18 businesses now counts over 166 partners all over the cybersecurity landscape. So it's facing huge success because it simply eases the integration between different security tooling, and also because it provides different options for accessibility, for flexibility that different providers can add. So this is the schema part. So we have fixed this normalization part. But what about centralization of data? Or what about the collecting of data? So that's where security, AWS Amazon Security Lake comes into play. So this service has as objective to help you centralize data and collect data from different places. And as I said at the beginning, whether it's coming from AWS, whether it's coming from Azure, whether it's coming from your on-prem environment, the idea is also to optimize the way that you store it, to make it more efficient, cost-effective, and make quality performance better compared to other solutions. And also the idea is to use the OCSF framework to normalize all the data. So all the data that you're going to find on Amazon Security Lake will be on the OCSF format. So some data or some partners that have data sources that are compatible with Security Lake, that data will be automatically transferred to OCSF, but others might need custom modification in order to make it OCSF compatible. And the other important aspect here is the idea of the fact that we have data in the same format, same template. It gives you the possibility to choose your own analytics tools. You can choose whatever technology you want, Splunk or other providers, even your own tools on the cloud. So you have complete freedom to choose that. So the idea here is instead of, it's about bringing your logs, your data, in a centralized manner, making that open and shareable, without for pushing you to use AWS resources, instead giving you the freedom to choose the tools of your choice. So I want to talk here a bit about the mental model behind the solution, how it works. So Security Lake objective is so ingest data, normalize data, and put it in the OCSF format. So it's going to manage the life cycle of the data there, the retention period, and it's going to manage also the subscribers. When it's subscribers, I mean the tools that are accessing that data. So you can say, for example, certain tools have access to, I don't know, for example, Azure data, certain tools do not have access to that. So you specify who can access what using the service. And behind that, we have the curtains. We have an orchestration layer. So what Security Lake is doing is using multiple AWS services, S3 for storage, Lake Formation to manage the data lake, and other services in order to manage all that, moving all that overhead from you guys. So on the left-hand side, you have the source. So we can, of course, you have the native integration with AWS sources. So like CloudTrail, the service that logs API calls, or Security Hub, the service that is our posture security management service. But you can also get data from partner sources like Trend Micro, like Rapid7 and others. So you have a huge list of partners. And you can have your own custom sources. In this case, they need to be on the OCSF format already because there's no integration plugin supported. On the right-hand side, so we have the subscribers. So the tools that will be using that data and ingesting that data. Then it can be done through your best data analytics tools. So it's up to you to choose. Or you can use what you're using already now, like Splunk or other perfect tools that your security teams are using. So a very important aspect here for you guys is to explain, to understand how the partners are working on this, working with this service. So you have a huge list of partners that involved in this or had integrations with the service. So you have partner for analytics and service partners. So the idea here is to have the common understanding because all these partners, so they both us and those partners are using the OCSF format. So they provide integrations in order to be able to normalize that data and move it from their own templates to the OCSF format. And also the ability also to work closely with Security Lake service teams to build integrations with plugins that can help you guys do the integration between these tools in a seamless manner. It's important to understand here also that some partners are considered as source providers, and other parts are considered as subscribers, like Splunk, but others can be also sources and subscribers at the same time. So here I wanted to explain to you quickly what is the impact of using Security Lake. So this is the situation before Security Lake. So we have different teams getting data from different places. So they need to manage the storage themselves. So they need to manage, build data pipelines to ingest that data, maybe add ETLs in order to transform that data to their data templates. So there's a lot of data replication, there's a lot of inconsistency, and there's a lot of data in different formats. So what Security Lake helps you do is change that, make it a bit simpler. So the idea here is instead of using multiple storage points, now you do store in a data lake, and then you share that data. So it's white ones with many subscription model where you put all your data come from different resources in Security Lake, and then you can share the data with the different tools. You can share, for example, data coming from firewalls, from DNS logs with SIEM, for example, and they can choose, for example, share other data coming from Cloudflare, VPC flow logs with the AI ML tools in order to perform whatever task you want to do there. By the way, in the AWS booth, we have already a demo that explains how we are leveraging Security Lake, running GenAI solution on that data lake in order to get insights. This way, you can speak with that data lake and get more insights. For example, you can ask it, what are the findings that have been generated today? What are the resources impact? What are the accounts are impacted? What are the principles that have generated these findings? To give that more practical aspect. So, if you want to move to start using Security Lake, then so you have to ingest data come from the AWS, for example, different logs, different findings coming from Security Hub and other services. But you can also ingest findings coming from devices, inbound findings from CrowdStrike, Wiz, and others. You can use Security Hub to aggregate all that data, and then you can ingest all the data to Security Lake. And on the Security Lake, you can add on top of that some telemetry coming from other clouds like Azure, like your environments, also from AWS. So for example, your application logs, and all that will be on the OCSF format. So all what we see on Security Lake could be on that format for ease of query and usage. Now, let's suppose we have a custom source. So you don't have it already in the OCSF format. In this case, we advise you to use our partner solutions, like the ones from Credible and Confluent, in order to transform that data to OCSF format to be useful. But if you have taken a good look at the list of partners that we have, we're pretty sure that we have already a great coverage of what you could have on your side in terms of telemetry. Now, on the right-hand side, we have, of course, the analysis. So we can use Athena, or simply use Athena, which is our service for S3 buckets query, for data lakes query. Or you can use Splunk and other services, or other SDRs or SIEMs. And the idea here is that we can choose different models to do that. You can use a pull model, or you can use a push model. For the pull model, we have just a subscriber API that you can call. For the push model, we have to use our simple queue service that allows you to build some kind of queues that can be alert your SIEM or XDR whenever there's an event raised by or created on the level of Security Lake. With that, I think I've finished this part about Security Lake, so I hand it over to you, Nicholas.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Niklas. I'm from Sweden, so I'm not from here. I live in the very small town in Sweden, in the middle of nowhere, and most of the people do not work in IT. I'm probably the only one that is working in IT in that very small town. And I have 3 kids, and if you have kids, you need to go to parent meetings at school, and then you meet other parents. That can be really, really scary, right? Other people. But you also need to explain what you're doing for work, for living, because they will ask you. So they asked me, Niklas, what are you doing? I'm working for the American vendor. We are using advanced analytics with machine learning. And they was like, what? What are you doing? We don't understand a single word of what you're saying. So I went home. I was thinking, how can I explain to someone that not are in IT what benefit they can get out of Splunk and what I'm actually doing. So I'm thinking we are saving time, because that is quite a lot of we are doing. If you're using Splunk for security analytics, we can do that quicker, and many other people. So we are saving time. So I say Splunk is go home early, because we are saving quite a lot of time for all our customers. So that is good if you then are an individual contributor, but if you are a manager, perhaps you want to have your team more efficient, and guess what? We can do that also. If we dive a bit more into the weeds, what can you do with Splunk? I have a customer in Sweden. It is a financial institute. They are doing loans for various things, for example, houses. And they has a goal as the person that are applying for the loan should have a response within 24 hours. Part of the process are automated. So they enter the details, they enter how much salary they have, how many kids, cars, and all of that stuff. They run some check against credit score system, and it outputs something. Then there is a semi-manual process to check the rest. And we are monitor that process with Splunk. So if it is falling between the shares, as we call it quite often, people are on paternity leave or they are on vacation or anything else happens, then we are sending out an alert. And they can also see how many people have applied for loan and how is the business is actually going. So that is one example of what you can do with Splunk. Another very common example is then obviously to use Splunk for detection of security threats, response of security threats, and also the investigation part of the security threats. We have a couple of different products. Long time ago when I started at Splunk, we only had Splunk, and now we have at least 10 different products that you can buy from us. The first one is then Splunk Enterprise Security. Splunk Enterprise Security is our CM. We run correlation searches, either scheduled or in real time. We are checking for various different threads. And the idea behind the CM is that all customers who here do not have an antivirus system, can you please raise your hand? So you don't have it, okay? You have an EDR solution instead. Okay. So everyone have a number of security systems, but we are still getting hacked, right? So we need something that can catch what's not possible to catch with traditional security system. And then CM is one way, good way to go. We are producing alerts that can be monitored by an MSSP or by yourself. We are investigate the different alerts, and then you can act on top of that. Then we have Splunk Attack Analyzer, and that is a new product from us, just released. And phishing email is still super common, and they are getting better and better, and they are using ChatGPT or other things to make it in Swedish or in Dutch or in French, so they are really hard to catch. Again, everyone here probably have a spam solution, but it take out a lot of emails, but not everyone. Some of them are going through. Those that are going through, we can analyze them and double check so there are nothing behind those emails. And we can do really advanced things, scanning the QR code. People can, when they're getting smishing, we can investigate that also. And then we can present the results or put it to enterprise security, for example. Another thing that we do now is automate part or entire investigation process with Splunk SOAR. So if you have 27 different things that you need to do to be able to do a security investigation, we can automate that part. We can present the information to the security analyst, and then we can either respond automatically if you want to do that, or the security analyst are taking the final decision whether we should shut down the CEO's laptop or not. Last but not least, we have Splunk user and entity behavior analytics. There we are using unsupervised machine learning to do baselining on what people and entity are doing on an day-to-day basis. We are storing the findings as anomalies, and then we are doing a second round of machine learning, and if we then find that people are doing something that are according to specific patterns, then we are sending an alert to enterprise security so someone can investigate that. Typically, if someone never they have an ordinary 5 to 7 to 5 job, they suddenly go in late, they are touching document they have never touched before, they are putting in a USB, etc. Then we can detect those types of attacks. Of course, machine learning and AI, everyone have it, so do we. We have actually had machine learning for quite some time. Me and my colleague, we was talking, we was having a great dinner yesterday, and we was talking, how long time have we had machine learning in enterprise security? And it's over 12 years that we had machine learning in enterprise security. We started with something called extreme search, that was a basic version of machine learning. 2015, we released machine learning toolkit, where the user by themselves can play around with different settings and different machine learnings algorithm and playing around with that. We are also working with more AI type of things, for example, a Splunk search assistant. We have a preview on that one. You can download it from Splunk base and you can play around with it. And that can help you writing Splunk queries, so you can ask it, what is the last 5 login attempts from Abdu, for example, and then we will have that, result. We are going to most likely release a number of things on .conf, and that is in 2 weeks, and we will be live streaming the key sessions. They will be sort of in 5, 6, 7 in the evening, so you can sit there with a nice beer and watching it. It's for free, so you can just go to the Splunk page and watch it. I encourage you to do that. I'm a big fan of normalization, and I really like the open cybersecurity schema, because now we can, if the vendor are producing the log file in a common format, there is big savings for everyone. We can now write content without knowing the underlying technology. All log files are different. Even log files within the same product are different. Windows 2003 have not the same log files in 2008, etc., etc. They are mippling around with event codes, and it's just a big mess. If everyone can write the log files, even the custom applications they have in a common format, that would be super good for everyone. So that's a huge benefit. I have another customers in Sweden, and they are going to onboard 3,500 applications, and they have hired 5 people that are going to work on that, and they think it's going to take 5 years, and those are not open using OCSF. If they would have been using OCSF, then it would take perhaps a year for one person to onboard all those applications. So that is sort of the magnitude of savings. So for those applications they are planning to onboard in 2 or 3 years, they actually are going to rewrite some of them, so it will be OCSF instead. So that's good savings. Why should we have the data from Amazon Security Lake in Splunk then? When is it good cases? Anything where you need advanced detection, real-time detection, or near real-time detection, that is a good case for sending the data to Splunk and using the advanced analytics that are existing in Splunk. And if you have bought enterprise security, for example, that's perfect to use with that. Things that can stay, that are super large, intra-communication within Amazon, for example, when one computer is talking to another computer, that you're using perhaps for forensic or compliance later on, that can be continuously stored in Amazon Security Lake, and then you can search in it when you need it. But most of the other data is great to sending to Splunk. We are also working with something called federated search for Amazon Security Lake and for other data lakes also. And with that functionality, we can search in the data in the lake without getting the data into Splunk. So that is typically good for this case here, because in the future you don't need to use a second user interface to be able to search in the data. You can stay in Splunk and you can search in the data, both the data that are in Splunk or in other lakes like the Amazon Security Lakes. So I think that will be super good. What you need to do to actually get the data in from Amazon Security Lake is that you need to configure a subscription where you tell, I want to have this specific data from the Amazon Security Lake. And then you go to Splunk and then you configure the Amazon Technology add-on. And now we're going to see if all my demo sessions have timed out or not. It's always fun to do live demos, right? And they have, but they might be lucky. So before Amazon Security Lake, you had to use the technology add-on. You have to configure each of these inputs. One input for billing, one input for CloudTrail, one input for CloudWatch, etc., etc. Took actually quite some time, and you had to do the same thing in AWS. Now we go to Amazon Security Lake. We are picking the only option that exists. And then we type in a name, and that could be anything. We pull down the list of the AWS account. I don't have that because this is a demo session. We pick a region I want to grab the data from. I write the queue name, and then I select the index. You don't want to have it in the default, so you put something in there and the source type. And then you press add. 2 minutes of work, and then I need to have a chat with the guy who's going to, or girl for that matter, who's going to configure AWS. About 5 minutes, and then you have all the data that you want to have from the Amazon Security Lake in Splunk. So that works really, really quickly. What can you then do with the data when you have it in Splunk? Obviously, you can just use that as normal data because it is as any other normal data. What we will do under the hood is it will take the Parquet data that are stored in Amazon Security Lake, translate that to a JSON, and then we do all the normal Splunk goodies that we do. We extract all the fields, so you can see it very easily here to the left. And here in this case, we are also converting it to the common information model that we are using. So we are going to support both common information model for a very long time and OCSF in, for example, Splunk Enterprise Security. We don't want the customer need to convert to it, use both at the same time. And we have add-ons that will make that work just happening automatically. So we can then do normal stuff here, stats, count by action, for example. And now we're going and actually searching in the data. We are doing all the field extraction. We do the normalization and all of that. Now we will see if it times out. I'm a little bit scared because the Wi-Fi is really, 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 really bad. So we will see. I have a response. Hooray. It worked. And now we can apply different type of visualization and create dashboard and all of that we want to do. Last but not least, this is enterprise security. And we will see if we can load enterprise security over this really poor internet connection. I guess it's not Cisco's devices. Now we get it. Great. So in enterprise security, we have tons of menus and things, and I will not show you everything. But this is the incident review page in enterprise security. Here are we loading all notable events. Notable events, other one call that alert, some are calling them incidents. There are a lot of different names. We call them notable event. That is event that someone needs to investigate to double check whatever that is an security incident or if it's not a security incident. Here I have created a really advanced security detection called AWS ASL security detection, just looking for Amazon ASL data in this case, and then I trigger a notable event. So you can do all the normal stuff that you use Splunk for with Amazon Security Lake data. So that is great. End of demo. I'm really happy that it worked. I was a little bit nervous about it. And I prepared, so I had a backup if the demo wouldn't have been working. Always prepare. Last but not least, so what we need to do, we need to help each other to get this OCSF going. So if you think this is a good idea, which I hope you think, then start putting this as a requirement in your RFP when you're buying products. So we create a demand. We are already 166 or whatever the number was in this open cybersecurity schema framework collision, but we need more. We basically need everyone. It's better for the end user, it's better for the vendor, also for all your internal custom applications. Some organizations only have 5, some have 100. Start using that for producing your log files in that format. Also, super good to do that, and we can save together, we can save a lot of time. And if we save a lot of time, we can go home early, and we like that, right? And now it's over to you for the last part.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for attending this session. I want to leave with a couple of resources you might use. So here are some QR codes that you can scan to get more information about OCSF, to get more information about Security Lake, how to start using it, and also get more information about Splunk Enterprise Security. So feel free to scan them. Maybe give them a bit of time to do that. And one last thing, your feedback is very important for us. So we have on our last slide a QR code. If you can move to the next one.
No.
No, you don't have it.
You have it.
So that one you can use to ask to access a survey on which you can give your feedback. Tell us what you think about the session. Was it good for you? Was it did it bring added value for you? So feel free to add your feedback. It's very much appreciated. Thank you everyone for joining us and playing this session. Thank you.
And we will be in the AWS booth also until the show stops. If you have any questions, you just come by and ask us questions about AWS or Splunk or something else, Sweden perhaps. Thank you.